Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini. Oh Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, our reading from the Akshar Brahma Yoga, the 8th Adhyay of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And Sri Krishna is almost bringing his teachings in this chapter to an end. He has taught us so much about the nature of the Brahma, the imperishable nature of the Brahma, and how he has also shown us different ways of how the yogis can attain themselves to this stage of merging in the Brahma. And he has given various examples, various through direct teachings and through symbolic teachings. Like the symbolic teachings of this 24th and 25th Shloka that we read, where Sri Krishna said, through the path of light, when the Jivatma leaves the body of the yogi through the path of light, through the path of knowledge, it merges in the Brahman and there is no coming back. But if it is the other way around, it is path of dark, if it is the path of a bit of an ignorance, if it is the path of doing more of ritualistic duties and sacrifices and charities, then it may not be immediately merging in the Brahman, but maybe the kind of path that the Jivatman chooses is like the plane of lunar light. And there the Jivatman has to dwell some time and then again come back. From that second route, the Jivatman has to come back. The Jivatman which has departed from the yogis. And both these paths that Sri Krishna has told us, they are pertaining to the travelers on the path of spirituality, those who have taken the path of spirituality towards attaining liberation. In the first case, the yogis have succeeded. The Jivatman has merged in the Paramatma. The Jivatman has merged in that Akshara Brahma and become imperishable. But in the second, the yogi's Jivatman has to dwell in those planes for some time, again come back, get embodied, leave the life and again tread the path towards liberation. If in the next birth, it happens that the Jivatman leaves attaining the path of knowledge, path of light, well, it is well and good. But till then, that repetition of the cycle continues. So that was the 24th, 25th and even the 26th Shloka. Sri Krishna has summarized his teachings in the 24th and 25th Shloka. In the 26th Shloka, Sri Krishna had told us, Shukla Krishna gati hete jagatah shashvate mate. It is the it is deemed to be world's eternal path. These two, the Shukla and the Krishna, the path of knowledge and the path of ignorance, the path of light and the path of darkness, or the path of fire and the path of smoke, as he had differentiated these two paths so beautifully in 24th and 25th shloka, or the path of Uttarayan and the path of Dakshinayan. So, both these paths, Shukla Krishna Gati Hete Jagataha Shashvate Mate, it is a firm conviction of the knowers that these two are the eternal paths in this world for the yogis. Sri Krishna is not talking about the third category of people who are not at all on this path. Ekaya yatya navrittim anya ya avartate punaha. Leading one path, there is no coming back. Leading the path of knowledge, leading the path of light, doing good works, meritorious works, unselfish works. One attains the end, not to return, not to come back again. Anya avartate punaha. But the other path of darkness, the other path of ignorance, the other path of that smoke, and Dakshinayan, the path of night, that during that, on that path, if the Jivatma leaves the body and travels that path, he has to come back again. Avartate punaha. That was the 26th shlok that we read. The bright and the dark, these paths are deemed to be world's eternal paths. By the one, a man goes not to return. By the other, he returns again. And we know which path makes us not to return again and which path makes us to return again. Now let us see the 27th shloka that we are going to read today. This is the last but one shloka of this adhyay. And Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna, you should be ever steadfast yogi. Naite sṛitī pārtha jānan yogi muhyati kaśhchana tasmāt sarveṣhu kāleṣhu yoga-yukto bhavārjuna. O Arjuna, yoga-yukto bhava. Be steadfast in yoga. And when? Sarveṣhu kāleṣhu. At all times. But why? Naite sṛitī pārtha jānan yogi muhyati kaśhchana. O Partha, O son of Partha, sṛitī jānan. Sṛitī is these two paths. The path of knowledge, the path of light, the path of enlightenment, and the other is that Krishna, path of darkness, path of ignorance. And knowing these two paths, sṛitī jānan, knowing these two paths, O Partha, yogi na muhyati kaśhchana. The yogis na muhyati kaśhchana. That yogi is never deluded, muhyati, moha. He doesn't get into that form of delusion at all, that what is going to happen. There is no confusion in the mind of yogi, one who knows these two paths. Once who has understanding of these paths, then everything is crystal clear. The path is crystal clear. Everything is so clear for the yogi. Yogi na muhyati kaśhchana. Not even slightest doubt in the mind of the yogi about which path to choose. Having known both these two paths. Na ete sṛitī jānan. Na yogi muhyati kaśhchana Partha. Tasmāt sarveṣhu tasmāt. Therefore, sarveṣhu kāleṣhu yoga-yukto bhava. Arjuna, O Arjuna, therefore, every moment get established in the yoga. Know for sure what is the right for you. Know for sure which is your path and tread on that path. So that is this teaching. After explaining everything about the Akshara nature of the Brahman and how the yogis can attain to that Akshara nature of the Brahman. When after the Jivatman leaving the body, how it can merge with the Akshara nature, Akshara Brahman, having described the entire process. And now Sri Krishna is telling him that know for sure that the yogis who know these two paths, for them there is no delusion, there is no confusion, there is no dilemma at all. Everything is absolutely clear. The clarity is so beautiful there. And therefore Sri Krishna says, "Oh Partha, oh Arjuna, therefore every moment, sarveṣhu kāleṣhu yoga-yukto bhava." Knowing these two paths, O Partha, no yogi is deluded. Therefore, O Arjuna, be steadfast in yoga at all times. This is very important, at all times. And why Sri Krishna is telling this? Be steadfast in yoga at all times. Because at the prayana kale, at the anta kale, at the last moment, when the Jivatman is about to leave this gate of this body of 9 gates, about this puri, when the Jivatman is about to leave, if one is always established in the yoga, automatically one's mind will get focused on the ultimate goal. Then there will be the time that at the last moment there will be utterance of Om. There will be remembrance of the Ishta Devata. And then the life force one can bring here in the head at the center of the eyebrows and focusing on the chosen deity, the Jivatman can escape from here. Instead of these openings, from that subtle opening and get merged with the Brahman, following the path of knowledge, following the path of light, following the path of illumination. So Sri Krishna says, all the time, sarveṣhu kāleṣhu, be merged in the yoga. As living the embodied life is a constant process, the practice of yoga also should be interminable effort. It should be constant. The remembrance of the Lord, the chanting of the name, these processes like our breathing. Our breathing, at times we breathe. Most of our activities, they happen, they go on during our lifetime so unconsciously. We are not conscious of our living as such, isn't it? We are not conscious every time that our eyes are seeing. We are not conscious of it. It just happens. We are not conscious that our ears are listening or hearing. Forget about listening. We are not conscious of all these individual, sense perceptions. Likewise, Sri Krishna says, make yoga also a part of your every moment activity. Whether you are conscious of it, whether you are not conscious of it, let yoga be at the back of your mind. Let remembrance of the holy name, let remembrance of your chosen deity, let remembrance of the great eternal truth be always there at the back of your mind. All the activities in life may be transformed into several aspects of yoga. That's what happens. That every activity we can turn into yoga. Every activity, whether we are seeing, whether we are hearing, whether we are touching, whether we are reading, anything that we do, make it a part of yoga. Connect it to the divinity, Sri Krishna says. And when that will happen only when we realize the oneness of the Lord in all the beings. That is what Sri Krishna has been teaching us. See the God in all. And then there is no one is a stranger than like our Holy Mother Ma Sarada, Ma Brahma said, "No one is a stranger, my child. The whole world is your own." When we have this kind of oneness developed, whatever we do, we bring out the element of yoga in it. We bring out the element of union of our nature with the nature of the Lord. In doing so, the yogi pursues the path of light. And when this happens, as a part of our every moment of living, automatically the yogi starts walking on the path of light, on the path of enlightenment, on the path of that Shukla, that aha of the daytime, the light and the jyoti and the flame and the Uttarayan, that path, the jiva takes, and it starts proceeding towards merging in the Atma. But for that, Sri Krishna says, every moment, sarveṣhu kāleṣhu, you must be identified in that unison with the Lord. You must get established in that yoga. Then you will walk on the path of light. So that is Sri Krishna's teaching in this 27th shloka. And what Sri Ramakrishna tells about this teaching of Sri Krishna, that how one should always constantly adhere to the path of yoga. One should constantly stick to the path of knowledge, to the path of enlightenment. Sri Ramakrishna says, in whatever direction the ship may sail, the needle of the compass in it ever points to the north. That is the beauty of the compass. Whichever direction. Now, when a ship is moving on the sea, the directions are not very clear. When one is, right in the middle of the sea, unless and until one tracks the movement of the sun, the directions are not very clear. Not like when we are standing on earth. At earth, we can always have some kind of reference point to know the directions, but that doesn't happen when the ship is in the midst of sun, in the midst of the ocean. There, everywhere you look around, you get so confused. Now, which direction to go? And that is where the compass on the ship, it helps. The compass always points to the north. The needle of the compass is always pointing to the north. And using that compass as the indicator, the captain of the ship can move the ship accordingly. So Sri Ramakrishna says, similar to it, let the mind of the devotee be ever fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord, irrespective of his occupation. The devotee, the yogi, he might be involved in so many activities, but let the mind be focused on the holy feet of the Lord. Let that needle be pointing only towards the north, and then the captain can maneuver the ship towards its destination. So Sri Ramakrishna says, like Sri Krishna said, that every moment establish yourself in the yoga. Sarveṣhu kāleṣhu yoga-yukto bhavārjuna. Sri Ramakrishna says, keep your mind all the time like that needle of the compass. Focus your mind every moment on the lotus feet of the Lord, and then maneuver your ship. Then you do whatever, you will find that right path. You will find that path of enlightenment. You will find that path of light. You will find that path of illumination towards attaining the liberation, towards attaining the nirvana, towards attaining the mukti. So that was this beautiful 27th shloka of the Akshara Brahma Yoga that Sri Krishna taught us to remain merged in the yoga, to constantly fix the mind on the yoga, and then tread the path. you will know which is the right path, how to tread on that path of light. We will automatically get to know about it. So with that, that is 27th shloka of the Akshara Brahma Yoga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.